Hello,
Everyone,
Welcome.
back.
to
Stacked.
The
best
Movie.
podcast.
boggers.
You ruined it.
All right.
We could have kept going, but you threw in poggers. God damn it.
Well, that's a good way to end it, I guess. Fathers.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to this fucking podcast stacked. Look at this. We're back. We're back. We're talking about movies. Took a little break last week, talked some WandaVision, which I know some of you haven't listened to yet. I can look at the YouTube views, and I know some of you haven't listened, so maybe you should go back and listen to that before you listen to this episode. Just saying. Told you. Ha, caught you red-handed. Ha.
Is this what professors feel like when they see like the students haven't clicked on like the Panopto video link or something?
That happened to Brandon and I in our Australian cinema class.
Oh, did Fury do it to you? Of course.
Most of the class didn't watch it. Most of the class didn't even show up on Monday.
I did.
Yeah, I know you did. And
Yeah,
then
but
you
you
fell
fell asleep
asleep.
midway
Look,
through.
I have the photos. Here's the proof.
No, listen. In my defense, I was up late, and then I was up early, and then my body said, "No, you got to go to bed."
How is that? That's all of those things are.
That's
entirely
completely
your
on you.
fault.
The Oscars are not
How
my
is that
fault.
your defense?
The Oscar are not my fault. I had to watch.
But
the
going to
noms.
bed late.
Listen. Sometimes you get carried away.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah.
It is actually. It's wonderful.
Well, it is actually.
This is our first Oscar season, Oscar movie season of our show. We've never
Oh yeah.
we've never been in Oscar season.
You guys want to quickly talk about our reaction to the noms before? To the noms.
We'll do another after hours after the Oscars. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. But
Or like right before with our full predictions, because I know Chris hasn't seen most of the films. I haven't seen most. Like I have to watch all the animated features and stuff like that. So maybe once we have seen more of the films, we'll do a special with our predictions and stuff like that, and then one afterwards. But what are your immediate reactions, Brandon?
Honestly, I think this is the best group of nominations we've had in a long time. Mainly it's because I feel like it was so evenly distributed. Like every film pretty much got what it deserved. Like even films that aren't super good, like Tenet, it got 2 really good nominations for production design and visual effects. I mean, there wasn't a lot to choose from this year, but that's good. In terms of picture, I mean, all of those films except for Mank deserve it. I think Mank is the sore thumb for me, just because I love David Fincher. Almost all of his movies, I would say, are a 3.5 for me, except for Alien 3. But we don't talk about that because it's not his movie. But with Mank, I was like, this is supposed to be interesting to me. I love classic Hollywood. Out of all of us, I think I've watched the most classic Hollywood. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You old geezer.
Yeah, and
fogey.
I was interested in the story about Citizen Kane and how it was written and the influence of William Randolph Hearst. But then when I was watching the movie, I was like, this is not interesting at all. The characters are unlikable. The cinematography was good, but I couldn't get behind the film, But as far as the rest of the nominees go, I love Sound of Metal, love Nomadland, love Trial of Chicago 7. Come at me. I love Minari, so I think it's pretty good.
No, yeah, this year's definitely been it's the first, I remember reading about this, it's the first time in Oscar history that the majority of best director nominees are underrepresented filmmakers. So you have Chloe Zhao and Emerald Fennell being the 2 women being nominated for best director, which is huge.
Which is history already.
Yeah, and then Lee Isaac Chung and Chloe Zhao together being the first 2 Asian directors to be nominated for best director in the same year. And yeah, I mean and also I heard Judas and the Black Messiah as the first Best Picture nominee to ever have been produced by only Black producers.
And the first one to be not in the year it's nominated for because it's a 2021 movie.
Yeah, that's been a little funky this year with all those dates.
I guess you got to give it some. But imagine if that wins. Like,
it won't.
The best picture, I know, but imagine if it does. The best picture of 2020 didn't even come out in 2020.
That's how fucked it is.
That's how fucked.
It's been a weird year.
I mean, that just speaks for itself. It's an okay Oscars for me. I think all the historic stuff that you talked about, Chris, I'm super happy about that. Mm-hmm. But like, I think there's some few major snubs here. First of all, Delroy Lindo for To Five Bloods. Where the fuck is that dude? I would have taken out Sacha Baron Cohen, get him out of there, put him in for the best supporting actor, and he would have easily have won that shit. Animated film, Where's Lupin the Third? Oh my god, one of the most visually impressive films I watched last year. It's not even there. And then there's just a bunch of other films that easily could have. I don't know why they went with 8 nominees this year. I could have easily filled 2 other slots, with like Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, or like 40-Year-Old Version, or even First Cow, I
heard a lot of film Twitters like sad about First Cow not being up.
Yeah, I think that would have been an amazing Best Picture contender, but it's just not there. And To Five Bloods. I loved that film, but it's not there. I don't know why they only chose 8 this year.
It's okay.
I'm kind of surprised that fucking...
Calm down. You're okay.
I think the best
honest
meme nomination of the year is Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun the Sheep Farming.
This is the second time that it's been nominated for, like, because there was another Shaun the Sheep movie that I now have to watch. Because if I want to catch up, I'm not going to watch one without the other.
Are you going to do a Shaun the Sheep double feature? That's fun, actually.
Actually, yeah. There's one on Pluto TV and the other one's on Netflix. It was a Netflix original film, apparently.
There you go.
But, like, Shaun the Sheep was, like, a childhood... Like, it was the end of my childhood was when that was, like, kind of becoming popular. So, that's cool. And I like stop motion. So, that's cool. But don't count it out. Always bet, if you're doing Oscar predictions from now on, always bet on Shaun the Sheep if there's no easy top 5.
What? Why?
They have a good track record.
They do.
As surprisingly as it is.
They are 2 for 2 for nominations. That's kind of...
Fucking put that on your Twitter. Always
that
bet
should be
on
like,
Shaun the Sheep.
Imagine Brandon at a casino in a suit, pushing people at the blackjack table. Move.
Listen,
I got 500 on Shaun the Sheep.
No matter what, always bet on Shaun the Sheep. All right, heed my words. Take my advice.
Definitely not to win. Like, definitely choose Wolfwalkers or Soul because one of those 2 is winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how everything shakes out. Oh, I also want to shout out Winterberg for the best director.
Oh.
That was amazing. Love to see that,
That was amazing.
I love seeing that best director it's getting more and more branched out around the globe, Like, I think because Bong Joon-ho really broke down those barriers with his win last year, that we're going to start seeing more foreign directors in this category, and that's really exciting,
Alfonso Cuarón's nothing to you? For Roma 2 years ago.
He made Harry Potter movies. I don't care.
Yeah, and I've heard rumors that Alfonso, like this is complete rumors, no actual proof to it, but
stacked exclusive
supposedly, stacked exclusive scoop from the cine world. But I've heard there's a little bit of tea that Alfonso did not actually shoot Roma, because he won best cinematography for that. Because the call sheet was leaked and there was a cinematographer on the call sheet, but there's rumors that he was paid off to remove his credit so that Alfonso can take it.
Wow!
But who knows?
He's a villain.
I've actually asked Torius and Michelle a similar thing for Bloomers to put me as the credit for the
director.
cinematographer.
Oh,
I'm gonna pay them off. Yeah, just remove Chris Lee from the billing. Just put me instead.
What
if we just swapped?
We swap.
That would be kind of funny. I'd be low-key. I would honestly be okay with that. That'd be kind of funny.
No, but you'd fail your cinematography class. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot. But I did the production design. That's pretty cool, right?
Who's this
Bill Dill
Ethan guy?
freaks out
Why
on
did he
me.
shoot
Who's
it
this
so
Ethan
well?
guy? Why is he not in my class?
All right, let's get into the topic of the week,
Yeah.
shall we?
What?
So this week we are doing a really fun, like interesting topic here. I think we're gonna have some cool discussions to like sort of support
was
our
my idea.
arguments. What?
It was my idea.
This was Brandon's idea. Yeah.
So this was my idea
What?
that I thought of last week.
You didn't pay me off for that.
Brandon, don't worry. The Venmo's processing right now, man. Brandon,
Oh,
don't worry
thank
about
you. I love you, baby.
it. Yeah, it's movies. It's one word titles. So movies that just one dang old word captures the whole plot of the movie. Boys, like what was your thought process in like picking like what is an essential movie for a one word title? You know?
Yeah.
Well, it had to
Well,
be good.
That's but like
Probably a good movie. Yeah.
there are good
But, like-
movies with one word titles that don't necessarily fit the movie. You know?
Yeah.
So like, what was your reasoning here?
Well, for me, it was like I wanted to choose titles that really like carried weight to the plot. Like what the implications of this title, what does that mean in relation to the narrative when contextualized with it? Or like in context with like the way that we understand that title. Like what is basically I wanted titles that have larger implications for the film or for our like our notions of what this film was about before going into it or after going into it. So yeah, I wanted to pick out great films that have titles that have real weight and like real like a real like weight to them. Yeah, because like I feel like a lot of films sometimes they might choose a title that might not necessarily fit as well as an alternative title would. So yeah, that was kind of my thought process. What about you, Brandon?
Oh, lordy. I'm in the same boat as you. I wanted to pick a film where it suited the title. I know Chris mentioned before the podcast one of his choices that he wanted to do, which fit perfectly with that film, but we had already chosen it as the final stack. And Chris, do you want to tell people what that is? I don't want to steal your thunder.
Yeah, for sure. A great example that I think we all agreed on was Parasite. And just to quickly explain why we think that's a great title is because when you see that title, you immediately might associate that word with the central plot of the film, which revolves around the Kim family kind of parasiting their way into like these roles in the household of the Park family. But when you start to contextualize that title against what this film is really about, what you have is maybe like what might be more fitting for this movie would be a title like Parasites, because there's like a secondary understanding to that title where you might think, say, the Park family are social parasites that feed on use their economic and social privilege to kind of like retain that and not allow those of the lower socioeconomic ladder climb to like their level, aka the quote unquote crossing the line as we know in that movie. But yeah, that's kind of Brandon, I think that's how we adopted it. And what do you think, Ethan?
What my reasoning here was, I wanted to go with movies where, yeah, that one word is like intrinsically intertwined with the soul of the film. Like you can't think about the film itself without thinking of that one word, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I have films that where the word plays into like in a more visual sense or in a more narrative sense or more thematic sense, you know? But like you can't, like there are films I think that you can separate its title from its content, you know? Titling a movie is like it's an art in and of itself, you know? And I think these three films that I've chosen do a fantastic job of just telling you what it's all about in one word, you know?
Yeah.
And
Ethan, just really quickly, I actually want to shout out a film that you and I made together, which I think has a perfect title.
Picks it for the final stack.
Buddy,
it's Self-Portrait. I think that's a perfect title for that movie that we made together.
There you go. It's 2 words, so it couldn't qualify for the stack. 2 words,
but it wouldn't qualify for this stack.
It was in consideration, but
yeah. But yeah, if anyone who hasn't seen that film, basically the entire premise is a guy paints with his blood, aka a self-portrait. You see
And
what I'm saying?
I thought of that title, by the way. I just keep taking everyone's. No, Chris thought of that title. It was all his idea. It was beautiful.
All right. Well, shall we get started?
Let's get started, but of course, before that, let's run down the rules of the show for those unaware of what the heck this dang old show is. Once a week, we set our topic or theme and go our separate ways to construct our own 3-film stack. Then after a week, we come back here on the podcast and share our own stacks, 1 film at a time. Then at the end of the show, we will mix and match our 9 films to make the ultimate decision on what quintessential 3-film stack we were checking out of this hypothetical video store. So there it is. That's the way the show works as we do it. And guess who's first, you dinguses? It's me. I'm going first with my first film. And that's by name of Jim Henson. A 1986 film. We watched this together. I showed it to you both for the first time.
Is it Labyrinth?
Labyrinth. Come on. You can't think about that movie without the labyrinth. You know, that's the setting. That's what causes everything around it. It's a labyrinth of emotion and dancing.
Dancing.
But I was just like, I don't know. There couldn't have been a more perfect title for this movie. Because, like, I don't know, it just makes it fairy tale-like by just calling it Labyrinth. But it's also having it by that one word gives it, like, that 80s pop that you don't necessarily get from, like, a fairy tale storyline, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's just, like, what the movie's about. It's this very, like, old high fantasy mixed with like the crazy poppiness of David Bowie. And that's why this movie works so well. It's so fun. The creature designs, the production design is amazing. It's good. It's very fun to watch high. I'll tell you that. That's what we did. And yeah, it's a fantastic time. What do you guys think about Labyrinth?
It's okay.
What? I thought you liked it.
I did like it.
You were having a blast when we were watching it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the movie's that great. Oh, he's ruined.
No, I'm not ruined. I'm just fucking confused by that statement. If you had a good time, then the movie should be good.
Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe I should give Larva Island movie a 5 stars.
Maybe I should too. Yeah, I've been really thinking about this for a while.
I don't think so. Personally, I think it's a well-made movie enough, and I think a lot of people are justified in their love for it because David Bowie is an incredible person. But in terms of like the plot, I'm not really like a big fan. Like the visuals are definitely fantastic. Like some of the best Jim Henson Company has ever done. Like there's so much kinetic movement to it, and like everything breathes with so much life that I feel like it almost blends into this world he's created. But in terms of like the actual story with the girl trying to find this child, this baby, I don't care. Simply.
That's because you don't like babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
maybe I'm just
not liking kids is not a personality trait. Sorry, that's what Twitter told me today. So
whoa, okay, boss
Sorry.
baby.
Nope, get that boss baby out of here. I hate kids. No more kids for Doug Prispreed. Get these boys out of my teeth.
Yeah, but I mean that's my general feelings about the film, Chris.
Well, for me, like I remember like being very taken aback by like it's like how much this movie is actually like secretly about like sexual awakenings, and like it's also kind of like a bastardized version of like Alice in Wonderland / Wizard of Oz for me.
Yeah.
But like you know that, but with that said, I don't necessarily think that's like a bad thing. Maybe not bastardized is like the right word. Maybe like twisted or like twisted adaptation.
Yeah,
maybe that's the best word. But yeah, I mean, you know, David Bowie, you know, like
David Bowie.
David Bowie. I'll say it. He looks good. I
just love the visuals and like the sort of the magic tricks the Henson Company is able to pull in this film. You know, it's some really interesting stuff for an 80s film where with like the things that they do with matte paintings and like somehow fitting puppets into the frame and stuff like that, like these really complex puppets. It has some of the most complex puppetry outside of maybe the Dark Crystal, you know?
I personally prefer Return to Oz.
Fuck you. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my first film. Brandon.
Yes.
What's your first one-word title?
I think my first one is the most loose adaptation. Like, I feel like you could name it something else, but I do think its title is very apt. It's a 2017 film directed by Mark Webb. It would be Gifted.
Hey.
That's
Love
the
it.
X-Men show, right? What is
Can't-
Gifted? I've never heard of Gifted.
You've never heard
Mark
of
Webb
Gifted?
directed
Maybe we
something
should
after-
watch that. We should watch that tonight.
I had no idea he directed something after Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It's in the gap between like then and now.
Yeah, that is in between 2014 and now 2017.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah,
fit
yeah,
in
yeah.
between there. That's a good point.
Yeah. But Gifted is basically this movie about a girl who is raised by her father. Not her father, her uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, her uncle played by Chris Evans.
Ah.
And she basically is like raised from home for like the first few years of her life because her mother passed away. And basically Chris Evans is like washed up. He's moved away from his home and they're kind of just living in the middle of nowhere in Florida, a la something like the Florida Project, right?
Yeah.
And they find out via like testing and just her natural skill that she's naturally this intelligent, gifted individual. And what I find amazing about the film is just how heartwarming it is and the relationship between McKenna Grace and Chris Evans. They're terrific together in this.
Mhm.
And not only that, but it's a really competent tale about what it means to be a part of a family and what it means to really enjoy life. I feel like the title has many meanings. It's not just like she's gifted in like this mathematical sense, like she's able to do complex mathematics, but she's gifted with this life with family, and you can interpret it that way as well. I think another great thing they did with the poster for this film, I don't remember if it was just like one poster, but when they had Gifted with the T, they had a plus sign instead of a T.
Oh, because she's a numbers guy, like a real math whiz.
Yeah, and I love that. But I think you could name it something different, but it is one of my favorite movies that is a one-word title that we haven't already discussed on Stacked. So, Chris, I know you love this movie.
Beautiful movie. I mean, like, Brandon, when we lived together, I stole your Gifted poster and put it next to my bed.
Yes.
Granted, we were in the same room, but still, like, and
he kissed it every night.
Yeah. Chris Evans, not the little girl.
Yeah, not the little girl. I'm sorry.
So we're clear. But no, yeah, I mean, this is a very, very like tender movie. Like, very heartwarming, really just makes you feel happy and like feel like you're like, I don't know, it's a very like humanity film about like people like just being good to each other and like not like knowing to be a good person and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a very simple film and very like slice of life and down to earth in that way. And it works with that really well. And like Mark Webb's kind of like, like Mark Webb has always had this kind of like fun, quirky indie vibe to him. Like 500 Days of Summer, obviously. And then you see ripples of that in the first Amazing Spider-Man with all those montages.
Yeah.
But in this film, I feel like he's very much matured as an artist and really kind of like finds his like very like down to earth, sweet, like tender kind of voice. And yeah, I think that comes through really well. And there's this one sequence, I don't want to spoil it, but basically the little girl and Chris Evans' character are having basically an argument that turns into like a crying match because they're both like really emotionally like stressed. And I don't know, the acting in that moment, like there's this look that Chris Evans gives this girl that's just like, you like that is like a man who's brokenhearted right now. And I don't know, the acting's great. I think it's great.
McKenna Grace gives one of the best child performances I've ever seen.
Oh, she's so great in that movie.
She's
really
a great
good.
actor.
Yeah.
She is. She's really
I
good.
really want to see her and Daphne Keane team up.
There's a reason why she's cast as like the young version of every female character. Have you seen that?
I, Tanya, Captain Marvel.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I think my favorite parts about Mark Webb Spider-Man movies are like the more grounded stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen any of his other films outside those Spider-Man flicks. But
You haven't seen 500 Days of Summer?
No.
Do you think Ethan would like that?
I forgot. I think
can't
he
tell.
would.
I think he would actually kind of get into the quirkiness.
Yeah.
It's kind of quirky.
I'd said
Kinda
come to the quirky. Well, actually,
a little awkward.
awkward. Maybe
A little awkward, kind of romantic. I don't know.
know.
Oh my god.
All right, Chris, what's your perspective?
All right. Well, I completely unconsciously referenced Daphne Keane, who, by the way, played, what's her name?
X-23.
Laura? X-23. Yeah.
Laura.
No, 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
23. Laura. Fittingly, that's my next film. Logan, directed
Double
by James
stack,
Mangold.
baby.
Really?
Fuck!
Double stack
Yeah.
of Logan? Nice. There we go. Well, just to quickly break it down, Logan is kind of the swan song to Hugh Jackman's career-defining role as the what's his fucking name? What's his last name?
Oh,
Well, the Wolverine, but like, what's his full name?
James Howlett.
James Howlett Logan, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, so the reason I picked this title, right?
Yeah.
Is because I feel like for many years now we've seen Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine. You know, like and you have all of these movies like titled like Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, First Class, X2. You know, very superhero, kind of larger than life kind of narratives and stories and worlds, right?
Yeah.
But with the title Logan, the implication of using his real human name, not his superhero alias, is it grounds you in this sense of this is a movie about this character, not about the Wolverine. Even though James Mangold directed the Wolverine, this is Logan. We're getting into who this character is and really humanizing him. And I think they do that, and that's the purpose of this film to me. Like, it really is a character-oriented piece for me. And I think they do a great job with that in this entire film. Logan is a beautiful, good departure for Hugh Jackman. I think they nail it on the head perfectly. It encapsulates everything that I look to and admire about Hugh Jackman's performance as Logan. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, I remember when I first heard this title, I was like, Logan, that's it? Like, I'm not gonna call it Old Man Logan, like the comic, because I know he's gonna be an old man in this one. But then once I saw the film, I finally understood why it's called Logan, because you're right, Chris. Like, this is one of the most intense character pieces we've seen in all of comic book cinema, I think, you know, where it's a film reminding you of why we love the Wolverine. We don't love the Wolverine because of the Wolverine. We love the Wolverine because of Logan, you know? And we love that just this person and how much of a tragic character he is. This is one of the best comic book movies ever. It's one that transcends the genre into being like, I don't want to say an actual film, you know, but like it just felt like different, you know?
Yeah.
You felt like, okay, I'm watching something that's gonna be looked at for years, you know?
Yeah, this isn't like, I feel like there are like certain like superhero films that kind of like, even like, you know, we always talk about how like we love superhero movies here. Like, we're all big fans of Avengers Endgame is like a great example of that. Like, we all love that kind of movie. But like every now and then you'll come across a film that it, not necessarily to say that like superhero movies are necessarily bad by default, but something that is alternative and different really like shifts the impression of what a comic book film is. And you have films like Logan, I would say even Watchmen, The Dark Knight, Man of Steel, even a little bit.
Oh yeah,
like,
I definitely say so.
Yeah, so like there are these films every now and then that come out that like kind of break that mold, and I think this is a great example of that too.
Yes. But yeah, just tragic, lovely movie. Love it so much. Brandon, what do you think?
Some of named Logan.
Some
No, you
motherfucker
can't.
named the Wolverine.
This Wolverine. This Logan.
This one right here on the
This
screen
one.
right now.
In case I wasn't clear, which is the fucking person I was talking about. Yeah, what do you think?
I remember watching this movie right after a team meeting at work. Everybody had just gotten off of work, and because we had a 7 a.m. a 7 a.m. work meeting sometimes, like every half a year. And they were like, "Oh, what is everybody gonna do?" And we're all like, "We could go to a movie." And we rented out a whole row in like a giant auditorium, not even like separating into our little groups, just a whole row of like 30 kids watching Logan. It was awesome.
My experience with Logan was, Logan came out the same day the Nintendo Switch came out, so my friends and I, because my house was like a block away from school, we walked to my house. My mom, because since I ordered the Switch, my mom got home before us. She hid it in the oven. So she's like, "You gotta find it somewhere in this house," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And it was in the oven. We played it. We played the first few minutes of Breath of the Wild, and it was just an experience and a half. And then we went to go see Logan, and I was just like, "This is one of the best days of my life." Oh my god, I was geeking out hard that day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great film. Like you guys have said, like it is very unlike a lot of superhero films. It was like talked about for Best Picture as like an 11 slot the year it came out, which is big because usually superhero movies aren't considered for that kind of prestigious award. But I think Mangold has this way of directing and writing that like is grounded and realistic, even for like the X-Men movies. Like if you watch The Wolverine, which isn't the best movie in the world, it feels like it's different from other superhero movies. Like it's set in a place that is not traditional superhero. You know, I think it was Japan, right?
Yeah,
For
it
most
was
of
in
the movie.
Japan.
And then with Logan, it's set in like the Midwest and in the Northwest, and it's like that's super weird to put a superhero film there, especially since it's mostly New York or maybe like a LA location or something like that. So like it subverts the genres in a lot of ways, and not only that, we got to be thankful for this movie because it isn't a more adult take. It's a rated R film. We got to be thankful that Deadpool came out to make this happen, sort of, because Fox was never going to do this without that movie succeeding.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a terrific movie. Hugh Jackman's probably gives the best performance of his career in that movie.
I would agree.
I gotta rewatch The Wolverine.
Dude, I gotta see Logan Noir. I haven't seen that yet.
Got it on Blu-ray.
The Wolverine?
Both of them. I got all.
Do you have the R-rated cut, the director's cut of The Wolverine? I'd love to see that one.
I have every X-Men movie up till. I have everything. Yeah, I no, I don't have Apocalypse. I have Days of Future Past. The Rogue cut is the last one I bought. Because after that, they get worse.
But do you have the director's cut of Wolverine?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I got in a pack of like 8 X-Men movies on Blu-ray, so probably.
Because man, I don't know. Maybe I'd like that one more because now I'm a weeb.
Is it you didn't like it because it was Japanese?
No, I'm just like I don't know. I don't remember what the style that was like.
Wolverine in Japan.
Are you kidding? Get this Canadian guy out of here. All right.
Yep.
Well, that is a double stack. So Brandon.
Yes.
Let's go into your second pick.
All right. Well, my second film evokes a feeling. The feeling of watching this movie is very much like what I'm going to say right now. It's Whiplash.
Oh, I almost picked this one.
Because Scream. It's a scream. No.
It makes me scream.
Whiplash is the drumming movie that was nominated for Best Picture in 2014. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen, plainly. One of the best movies to have a one-word title that we haven't already discussed on the podcast. And the reason for that being, for me picking this movie outside of that, for the title specifically, is that, like I said, the film evokes this sense of whiplash you get when you like break too hard, or when you get thrown off of something like a roller coaster, when you're thrown for airtime, ejector airtime. It gives you that sense of like, wow, oh my god, I just got hit by something, and like a crude force, and the force of J.K. Simmons yelling at you. Pins you to your seat, even if you're like watching it at home. Like, I don't care who you are. That is the most intense and embarrassing thing you will
Oh,
ever
no,
feel
yeah.
in your life.
It's the most all you can do is sit there and like curl your toes and hold your hands like this and
Yep.
just like shake.
It's
Like
very
you
similar.
can't do shit
Yeah.
to make him stop.
It's very similar to how I felt watching Uncut Gems for the first time. You know, that like super
Yeah.
tense, like things are going wrong and you know it, but like the character is obviously not aware. Same with Whiplash. It feels like that. And especially towards the end of the film, there's a moment where Miles Teller gets whiplash, like literally.
Yeah. And
but,
you do
like,
not see it coming.
And you do not see it coming.
Holy
it's like
shit, it came out of nowhere.
I watched this movie twice in a row the first time I watched it, and that's very rare. Usually I'll give it some time because, you know, you gotta let it sit. But I was like, I immediately need to watch this again. And it's just a terrific movie all the way through. The way his life goes through this up and down roller coaster of emotion and success and failure is... I don't know. There's something so real about it that I can't get out of my head, even though if to some it might seem exaggerated. I know Ethan has had the strongest effect.
Yeah, I made a point not to watch this movie for the longest time when it came out because I was a drummer in a jazz band when it was released in 2014, and I know what it's like to like. I don't know, because the drummer carries such an important responsibility over the band, you know? It's keeping you're the one that's keeping the time, you know, to make sure everyone else is on beat. So if you fuck that up, like everyone will fucking hate you for it, you know? And I had a really hard time with keeping tempo as a drummer, partly cuz I never practiced, but because my drum kit was total ass. It was, but yeah, like the hi-hat kept breaking and everything. It was a mess. So like when I heard it was like what the film was about, I was like, I can't see that. Like I can't give myself the stress. So I waited until college, until I stopped drumming, to watch it. And even then, I couldn't like. There was moments where I had to leave the room. Like the movie was still playing, but I fucking stood up and left because like. I can't deal with this. Like, I'll listen in and wait until it's over to come back in. Yeah, Whiplash is a perfect movie. I think it's one of the few.
It's really good.
It's not one of my favorite movies just because of the stress it gives me, but I think it is a perfect movie by every sense of the word. Like, not a single minute is wasted. Not a single shot is wasted. You know. And it's
characters.
It accomplishes perfectly what it sets out to do, and that is to give you that total anxiety and take you into this delve into madness of Miles Teller's character. The last scene is so intense, one of the most intense sequences of film I ever watched. It had me running up and down my fucking house, literally, like I was a fucking child in a movie theater.
You're like,
oh my god! Yeah. It's a trip to watch. It's an absolute trip. Yeah. Chris, what do you think about Whiplash?
No, yeah, I totally agree. Like the feeling that this movie gives you, the anxiety of it all is, yeah, like you said, Brandon, is very Safdie Brothers-esque. Like, or even like, yeah, Ethan, like it really just, and it's just so perfectly constructed. Like the script is tight, the narrative is well done, the acting is excellent, it looks beautiful, but also really haunting. And like, I don't know, it's an incredible film about like the dedicated and passionate artist, but also the psychological effects of abuse and trauma. And like a lot of people compare this movie to Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan.
Oh yeah.
For good reason. I feel like those two are great companion pieces.
You could do a double feature.
Yeah, that would
throw in Perfect Blue, and you got a stacked triple feature right there.
That would be a extra stack for you. Bonus
there you
stack.
Go. That we just made one. That one's on the house. Look at us. Anyways, go on, Chris.
Yeah, but it's just really well done. I mean, like J.K. Simmons delivers one of my favorite performances I've ever seen in this film, and like he like I don't know, like I guess before seeing this film, I really only knew him as J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh yeah.
In the Spider-Man films, and then he pulls this out, and I'm like, why do I not see this guy in more movies? Like, this guy is amazing at acting and is just like, I don't know, it's just so great. And like Damien Chazelle, this being his directorial debut, just holy shit, man. Like the amount of talent flying out of this
Dude's asshole.
this dude's asshole. Fuck me.
Oh,
Holy
fuck
shit.
me.
The ending of this
Chazelle's
movie.
asshole. Oh fuck.
The ending of this movie is so inspirational too. Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever has this ever been you? Have you ever wanted to do this?
have you ever had a teacher like this who's so intense and like may not be as like insane as J.K. Simmons is in this movie, but pushes you in ways you didn't think you needed,
Yeah.
but then it pushed you to be successful and go further, even if that came at the expense of your mental health, your personal health, your relationships with individuals. Because I have,
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
Oh, I've
So
definitely had that.
Made it even more relatable, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
definitely.
that's my pick.
Great pick. I was also heavily considering that one for mine. And
Yeah.
I had a feeling it would show up tonight. So glad
I'm
it's
glad
there.
someone got to talk about it. Yes.
All right, Chris, go into your number 2.
All right. Well, my number 2 film is a film from 2018. And it's okay. Well, technically, in a way, it's kind of 3 words meshed together to create one.
Oh.
Now, go with me on this. It's a 2018 film directed by none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, Spike Lee. It's Black Klansman. Now,
Technically, it's one word. So
technically, in the context of the title, it is one word. It's just now that might be a stylized choice, and if so, I'll retract it. But going with that, it's kind of it's kind of 3 words. But yes, so this movie is, well, KKK if you consider that title a word, that acronym a word. Anyway, I don't know.
Really getting into the logistics here.
Yeah, really getting into the semantics of the KKK.
Language.
But yes, anyway, so I think that title conveys the central plot of this film perfectly. It has, like, Black Klansman, and if you don't know, this movie is about a black police officer and his partner, white partner, infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan. And yeah, I don't know, I think that title is just like really clever, and like it's kind of a pun in a way, and but it also carries that little extra like spicy kick of Spike Lee energy that I really love. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say beyond that. And also, like, yeah, I think this movie is fantastic. Like, it kind of like it carries that kind of palpable like energy that I think Spike Lee's films are known for really well. And like, it's exploration of race relations, black experience, and other like major sociocultural injustices. Like, it's really just really well done. Yeah, and like I feel like for the most part, a lot of people largely consider Do the Right Thing to be Spike Lee's like magnum opus, but for me at least, Black Klansman was a perfect movie to come out the time it came out. I don't know. Yeah, what do you guys think about this pick?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. What was it? Like August, sometime in the fall of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great film. It's a really great film. It introduced us really to John David Washington, a dude who's like, he's not going anywhere after this movie, and I loved
I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago.
Oh, John in Tenet. What a line
reference there.
Yeah, good Tenet reference.
I'm
Brandon's
surprised
a
I
big
remember
Tenet fan.
anything from that fucking
That's the only
complex, ridiculous script. But yeah, it's a really great film. I love the Spike Lee-isms mixed in with this historical storyline. He's really good at telling historical narratives, like Malcolm X. And now with this one, it's been such a long time since I've seen it, but I remember just like having an absolute blast and being totally killed by that ending.
Oh no, yeah.
It was almost scary how right like at the right time it came out, because I remember something was going down then. You know, like
Yeah.
I know he included footage of the Charlottesville, but I feel like there was another event that like came out right before this movie came out, so it was just like
I
it
don't
made the
remember.
ending all the more impactful. You know,
Yeah.
Bingo.
Mm.
Brandon.
Brandon, what do you think about Black Klansman?
Yeah, another movie. I think there were a lot of movies in 2018 about race that came out, and I think Black Klansman definitely stands out the most because, or was Blindspotting 2018 as well?
Yeah,
Holy
Black
crap.
Klansman was also 2018.
Blindspotting, Detroit, or no, maybe Detroit was 2017. But anyway, around that time, after Trump became president, I feel like studios were more interested in engaging with this conversation because they were pushed by a guy who had openly pushed white nationalist rhetoric. And I think the way Spike Lee handles it is really perfect. Especially, it came out like, I think it came out at the perfect time, like you said. Like, there's no, like, they nailed it because it's so hauntingly realistic. Like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think a mass shooting might have happened around that time as well. And I remember thinking, while I was sitting in the theater watching those last, 5 minutes of the movie, like, there was like I was getting goosebumps, and like everybody in the audience was silent because of how striking it is,
Oh yeah.
not only visually, but in the way that it is abrasive in its direction. It's very direct. It's not like, oh, this is like, you know what they do with a lot of like based on a true story films is like they put that like at the end, like the what happened to the characters and where they are today or something like
like
that.
what happens after the narrative.
Or like a text,
Yeah.
But this feels very much integrated and baked in because right after the shot of the eye of the KKK member and the cross burning in it, you card smash to this like real life footage. And this 2-hour journey that you go on that is sort of an escape because, believe it or not, it's probably very humorous in comparison to like the actual subject matter. And then to confront that with something as realistic and terrifying as what it is really like is absolutely a great choice, even if it doesn't necessarily feel a part of the same movie. You know what I mean? And tone.
No, I totally get it. But like that almost works for it. Like that juxtaposition between the comedic kind of delivery that Spike delivers in this film and that kind of real life grittiness and footage of and the horrifying images you see in Charlottesville, like that juxtaposition almost enhances the larger effect of the film. And yeah,
benefits
I think
it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so that's my second pick, Black Klansman by Spike Lee.
All right. Alt-right.
Alt-right.
Am I right, fellas?
No.
It's my turn. I'm wrapping it up here. No, we're not wrapping it up. We're into the third round here with my last pick. Couldn't have thought a better one to pick for this last one. It's a 1990 film directed by the master of disaster, Akira Kurosawa.
Oh, never mind.
1990. Oh, is this
I thought you were picking Goodfellas because
it's Dreams, isn't it? Is it Dreams?
It's Dreams. It's Akira Kurosawa.
I almost picked this one too.
I thought about it.
I mean, come on. It's just so perfect. That's what it is. It's a character piece in the most subconscious way possible,
Yeah.
And it's a character piece on Akira Kurosawa. It's on himself. It's an autobiography, basically.
Yeah.
Because these are real dreams that he had. And it's a compilation of dreams he's had. And each dream tells a different thing about this person, And it's such a beautiful film, a beautiful score. And
the visuals,
I don't know,
dude.
It's the visuals are great. Chris, you shared with us a compilation of dreams with the Princess Mononoke score.
Yeah, if anyone knows the channel The Beauty Of, they do like compilations of movies and then puts a great score to accompany and edits it beautifully. Highly recommend that channel. But yes, that is an incredible visual and auditory experience to put them together. But yes, Ethan, go on.
But like you just get like so many aspects of this character. Like his artistic curiosity, his love, his fear, and like his determination, and also guilt. One of my favorite dreams that he has is the one of the soldier, um, which is fun fact. That was co-directed
same.
by Ishiro Honda, director of Godzilla and of the majority of the Showa era Godzilla films.
Yeah.
It's just so much guilt over the war and stuff like that, and I just want to share the last quote of the film. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it's probably one of my favorite endings in all of cinema ever, where someone says, "Listen, people go on about how hard life is, but that's just a lot of talk. Honestly, it's good to be alive. It's quite exciting." And just it's that old woodcutter. I think he's a woodcutter or fisherman or something like that. It's such a beautiful scene. I mean, fuck. When Akira Kurosawa pulls out films in color, like, you wouldn't expect that a dude who worked so intensely in black and whites would be able to, like, translate to color so well. But, like, he fucking does, And it's such a lively film. Like, I don't think I've ever felt such vibrancy within the frame of the film than, like, a Miyazaki film, With, like, those watercolor color palettes. It's insane. It's insane. It's such an amazing film. What do you guys think of Dreams?
Oh
My
yeah.
God. Oh God. Brandon, you go first, because I think I saw this one most recently of the three of us.
Yeah, because you were the last one to watch it of us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're right about Akira Kurosawa working in color.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he nails that. Like, you wouldn't expect him to have, like, striking use of it, but the way he, like, weaves in and out of using, like, warm colors and soft colors is so beautiful. And not only that, it never feels like he gets carried away in all of, like necessarily all of the visuals, because there's still behind it a sense of, like, this is what the movie is about, right? It is a movie that is like a dream. Like, when you sit through the sequences, sometimes they don't make the most sense on the surface, but because it's like a dream and you break it down like a dream, it means a lot more. I think one of my favorite sequences in the movie happens to be the first one, Sunshine Through the Rain, where the kid is basically running through the forest and he sees these spirits walking around and he follows them, right? And that to me feels like the most dreamlike thing I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's like you're watching something and you're not sure it's real or not. And, like, if it happened to you in reality, you'd be questioning your own reality, as well as, like, what does this mean? Like, what is happening right now? These fox people are walking with baggages and there's, like, smoke everywhere and it's green and it's raining and sometimes it's not. Like, wasn't it, like, raining when there was sunshine, right? That's the title of the sequence. There's a Martin Scorsese cameo in this movie that's hilarious.
Plays
Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, he plays Van Gogh. What the fuck?
And he doesn't even like have a French accent. He's like, "Hey, it's me, Van Gogh."
That's very typical of Scorsese movies, isn't it?
Yeah.
He has characters in, like, period pieces that don't speak like they would. They speak in, like, typical modern day accents. But yeah, like, I remember Ethan told me to watch this, and I remember going, this is a fantastic film. It really captures what it means to be a dreamer, somebody who's creative, and honestly to live. Ikaru.
Yeah.
To live, laugh, love.
To live. Live.
Put
laugh,
that
love.
on my wall. Chris,
what do you want me to buy you one of those?
Yeah.
No,
yeah. I adore this movie. This was like up until seeing this movie, I hadn't seen very many of Kurosawa's, like, non-samurai related films. I had seen Ran, I had seen Seven Samurai, and all that good stuff. But, like, I remember seeing this movie and Ikaru and kind of just being, like, completely shocked at how this fucking, like, this movie just is so deeply personal. I've never seen a narrative autobiography, like, become like a fantasy. I don't know. It was so beautiful, and it's just like I don't know. I've never seen a film like it. Like, when are you ever gonna see, like, a director make basically five short films, compile them together, and just like turn them into like this incredibly beautiful story about like your like sense of self. And I don't know, it's so gorgeous. And you guys you guys covered pretty much everything I would say too. But yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. I think this is one of Kurosawa's best works, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah, it's my second favorite, right behind Yojimbo.
Although, I think one of the shorts is not that good.
Which one?
Okay, what's everyone's favorite and least favorite shorts?
My favorite is the first one. Not because I don't think it gets worse. I think like it's like a slight decline and then everything's pretty much the same level. The only one that I'm not a big fan of is the one about Mount Fuji.
That one's my least favorite too.
Yeah,
because it doesn't feel, it feels fake and artificial in comparison to the other ones. But I totally get what.
No, mine was the one about the dude who's like the mountain climber. That one's my least favorite.
The one where it's the blizzard.
Yeah,
I like that one. I think one's like beautiful.
My favorite is definitely the tunnel one, where the soldier sees like the soldiers that fell under his command.
Yeah, that one or the very last one are my two favorites.
The last one's good. Leaves you with a sweet taste, and you feel like you could die happy.
Fuck it, let's do it right now. Let's fucking die. All right. Anyway, so that was Dreams.
I'm alive.
Do you want to take us into your last film?
Yes, actually. My last film is honestly, I think it's more perfect than Dreams in terms of a one-word title and how it goes.
Bullshit,
but you haven't seen it. You haven't seen it, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It's a 1990. What year? I'm checking. 1994 film, Satan Tango.
Satan tangos. That's two words. Satan's doing the tango, huh?
No, it's one word. It's one word.
Ooh-ah, booyah. Satan is on the dance floor. He's tango.
It's a 1980. Yeah, it's based on a Hungarian novel about people's struggle in communities in the Eastern Bloc during or in that time when like Europe was going through like an economic like downturn as a result of like the post-World War II, blues. Everybody was suffering because the environment was bad, the economy was bad, not only for the capitalist countries, but for the communist countries as well. Both countries were both types of country were failing as a result of this war. And out of this, I have like no clue how like they came up with this movie, or I think it was an adaptation of a novel. But it's about these people in this town who are basically trying to support each other through this hard time. And it's a realist film, so it's very slow. It's like 9 hours long, so that's a dent on the stack.
It's like 9 hours long?
Yeah. Yeah. It's sorry. But but the reason why it is so impactful and why I chose it for this instead of like an art house triple stack that we do.
Yeah, what does Satan Tango mean?
Because Satan Tango is the first half is Satan, which matches with the desolation and the anger and fear and the false prophet that is in this movie. Mm-hmm. And then the second half is a tango. And for anybody who knows how to dance,
dance. Everybody knows how to dance.
All of our dancing audiences. All our true dancers out there.
There is the moves are 6 steps forward, 6 steps back. And the film is split into 12 parts. So what the director did is not tell this story in chronological order. He told it from different characters' perspectives from this town, people leaving the town, people entering the town, their hopes, their dreams, and then kind of where they end up at the end. Mm-hmm. Maybe. And maybe actually it's 7 hours long, I think. But I've watched it all in one sitting. Anyway, and what's so terrific about it is it follows that structure, the structure of a tango. So it is about the desolation as well as this dance, this dance between trying to succeed and move forward and then getting pushed back by something that happens. Honestly, I was taken aback at how great this film was. I know not everybody's a big fan of slower cinema, But it is a extremely rewarding movie because over the course of that 7-hour period, you really get invested in these characters, in their situation. Yes, it's in black and white, and it's not really. I think you benefit from if you know history, but honestly, it is one of the most fascinating movies I've ever seen in my life, and definitely a terrific pick for this stack. It would definitely lengthen it a bit, and I would recommend you splitting it up. But it's great. I highly recommend.
Brandon, this is a show about triple features.
Yeah, I know.
Can't split it up. This is a marathon. People are watching a movie marathon here.
Well, yeah, then we could put this in the middle.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, I don't mind me a little realism here and there.
7 hours worth.
Yeah, that's pretty daunting, I gotta say. So cool. All right. Yeah, I'll watch it.
I mean, 7 hours,
Chris.
that's a lot.
Oh.
Or is it 9? I don't know. Santan.
It's got political intrigue.
Santan.
Where does it take place again? Sorry.
Austria-Hungary. So that area.
I'm hungry.
These people are in the movie
Me
as
too.
well, because that's where they're from. One last thing I want to mention before we move on to Chris's last movie
Hit it.
is
Hit it.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, is that is that I think it's like honestly brilliant at tackling economy. Not just the economy of like capitalism and communism and basically taking down all structures of the economy, both kinds. It's a very scathing indictment of both. But it's a terrific examination of how to use your time efficiently. They only have a certain number of shots in this movie, so you have some of the longest takes in history in this movie, because they are so economical with the amount of shots they have and their shot length. So if anybody's a cinematographer out there or a storyteller and they want to use like a one-shot thing and they want to know how daunting it is, watch this movie, please.
I'll let my cinematography friends know.
Yeah,
That
me
means
too.
you, Chris.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
All right,
All right,
am I
Chris. Let's wrap
rounding it
this
out?
up.
Well, so I was thinking about a movie. What would be a great one-word title? And this title only 2 letters in it. It is a movie I think we saw together. I know I saw it with Brandon. Ethan, I'm not sure if you were there at the time. It was the it's a second movie from 2019. Jordan Peele's
Yes.
Us.
Now,
Why is this title so significant to me? I think so when you contextualize the film, it's a lot about how there are basically 2 factions in this story. You have humans, aka surface, and then you have the people underground. Both, and where you can very much tell the people underground live a very cold, desolate life compared to those in the vibrant, idyllic world above. And the film, you're framed as an audience, you're framed to favor the people on the surface because they're like us, like us. And then so that
They are us.
every time they say the word "us" in the movie,
TikTok.
Yes.
Yes!
But anyway, so with that, when you eventually get to the end of the film, which spoiler alert for us, it is revealed that the main character, played by Lupita Nyong'o, fantastic performance by the way, is actually the doppelganger herself. They when they were children, they swapped positions, and you start to unravel this idea about crossing, the cross between them, and you start using that device. You start to think about how this film really challenges us to confront our current satisfaction and enabling of the socioeconomic disparities between the surface and the underground, which allegorically speaking alongside a lot of what we know as Jordan Peele's kind of what he's interested in as a filmmaker, like race relations and stuff like that. That is incredibly powerful. I think, and like, you know, it's critique of modern day Americanism, you know, and like, or even timeless Americanism, like that kind of like how those above tend to squash those below. And I don't know, it's like it's a very much a movie even just about empathy between people unlike you. And granted, yes, it's shown in this horrific, terrifying way. Like the tethered are terrifying to me. But that makes me question, like, am I terrified of them because they actually are that terrifying, or are they kind of just misunderstood because they were placed in that environment? How would they not react that way? Now, I'm not saying that murdering should be excused, but it does put me in the mindset of wondering, like, okay, why am I terrified of these people?
But if you have to,
and that's why Us is a great title, because it's us and them, but it's also us, United States, and I think that's great.
U.S. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Underrated.
I haven't seen this film since the first time in theaters. And I fucking love this movie. There was a point where I loved it more than Get Out, but then after watching Get Out a few more times, I realized it's like, I don't know, that movie's so impressive. This one's also very impressive though. Like, Jordan Peele is a director, a very meticulous director.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can tell he's a big Kubrick fan by the way he hides things in the frame. You know, every object has a purpose in this movie, which I love. And yeah, like, Us is a great title for it because it is sort of us being in this together, you know? And from a psychological standpoint, Us is really great of you dealing with like your own doppelganger, your ego, you know? I love the psychological narrative. I think people weren't as warm on it when it first came out because I think they were expecting the sort of the race narrative to be a little bit more explicit, like as in Get Out, you know? I think that's where it left people off a bit disappointed. But there is lots of great stuff about race, like with Tim Heidecker's family. Oh man, I can't believe Tim Heidecker is in a slasher movie. You know, is this a slasher movie? I guess it's a home invasion movie, not a slasher movie. That's different, right? You guys are the slasher experts. Am I?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of a slasher movie. It's a little bit like, it kind of twists it a little bit. I think it's, but in some ways,
I think it splits. Right? I think it does both.
Okay.
Because like the first third is more home invasion, but the rest is kind of slashery.
That's true. But yeah, it's a thrilling film to watch. And it made the Ophelia sequence like absolutely iconic, where she says, "Call the police," and then Ophelia says, "Now playing fuck the police." And that's one of the best cinematic moments of 2008. This came out 2019 of 2019. It was so much fun. Brandon, what do you think?
I think a lot of people were let down by this movie. I was not one of those people. I think Us is one of the more underrated movies to come out of that year, 2019. I think there was a lot of like you said, there was a lot of people expecting the exact same thing as Get Out, and they didn't get that. I think you got a lot more ambiguity in terms of like what it's saying, and I think people were disappointed because not only was there a lack of comedy, but I feel like they were disappointed by the horror elements. When I actually think the most interesting stuff about the story is to be analyzed is those people who live underground that you said, the tethered, right?
Yeah,
Chris?
I think they're called the tethered.
Right, and how they sort of take over and why. And I feel like it's another great movie from 2019 that talked about class. 2019, 2020, you know. We're talking about class these past 2 years in terms of cinema. And they nailed it. You know, this is like the underrepresented in society. I'm surprised it didn't hit more with certain audiences, maybe in the South. You know, I feel like a lot of people feel misrepresented down there because of the way some people on the coast see them. And I'm surprised it didn't strike a bigger chord. You know, it wasn't as successful. But outside of that, even like you got to look at Lupita Nyong'o's performance. Winston Duke's performance in that movie is fantastic. The kids are great, and not only that, I think Peele is the master of modern horror imagery. Like I think he's even better than some of the indie directors we like to tout a lot, like the Eggers and the Astors of the world. Like I think he's up there with them,
I would
right?
say.
Yeah, like he knows how to
even above, because like he's really
Yeah.
broken
Yeah,
into
he's
the
and he's
industry.
tapped into something
it's
about our world that like I feel like a lot of other directors shy away from a little bit. But yeah, he's doing a great job.
It's atmospheric too. Like it's the dark atmosphere of sitting in a movie theater and seeing like a frame of a film, and it just, you don't know why, but it's super off-putting.
Yeah. Oh,
And yeah,
great pick. All
What a
right,
list.
well, what a fucking list. Before we hash out what this final stack's gonna be, let's run down our picks and remind everyone again. So my stack was Jim Henson's The Labyrinth. Then we double stacked on James Mangold's Logan. And then I wrapped it up with Akira Kurosawa's Dreams. Brandon?
I had Gifted. I had Satan Tango. And I had Whiplash.
That wasn't the order, but
I don't care. I don't care about your freaking rules. I break the rules here.
Dirty little lawbreaker. We got a dirty little lawbreaker over here. All right, Chris.
And my picks were Logan, Black Klansman, and Us.
Okay. So we know Logan is a lock. It's good to hear. All right, let me pitch one. This might be an easy one. I feel like we might all agree on this one.
Maybe.
So Logan, Obvi, Whiplash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Dreams.
Ooh.
Yes, I feel like there's a lot of different. If we do Dreams, that's like our art house, like a Satan Tango pick.
Yeah.
I think Whiplash is enough of a drama that it sets itself apart from something like Logan, which is larger in scale.
Yeah.
Which is like a blockbuster. Yeah, I think that could work.
And each of these one-word titles serve a different purpose, you know?
No, yeah. I definitely think that's true. Like, I would fight for Us to get in there because I really think that's a great title, but knowing Dreams especially being in there, like that satisfies me enough. So I will relinquish my control. And I'm down for that. That sounds great.
I will acquiesce to this decision that you guys have. All
right, awesome. Well, I got a pitch for the order now. So I think we should start with Whiplash.
Okay.
Because it's super stressful. Because Logan and Dreams, they both have a fantastic endings. But
yes, they do.
Let's end on a positive note, shall we? And let's end with Dreams.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think
Logan will have you sad, and then Dreams will cheer you up.
It will break you and put you back together again. Well, should we run it down?
Let's do it. Let's run down Stack's official one-word title final stack here. Starting with Brandon, what's our first film?
Our first film is Whiplash, a terrific not directorial debut, but the breaking onto the scene of Damien Chazelle. It's a terrific film about reaching your full potential and Teachers from Hell.
Wait, isn't Whiplash a directorial debut?
No, he did a movie before that.
He did. Okay.
He did?
I thought he only did.
Yeah, it's called Guy and Madeline on a Park Bench.
Is it a feature or is it a short?
It's a feature.
Okay.
Well,
anyway,
here I was thinking I saw every Damien Chazelle film. More you know.
I've only seen half then, not 2/3.
Chris, what's our second film?
And our second film is James Mangold's 2017 comic book adaptation, Logan. An amazing film that humanizes the character of the Wolverine perfectly and also serves as a wonderful swan song to Hugh Jackman's career-defining role as the Wolverine.
Brandon, did you get a bloody nose?
Yeah, dang.
While I was trying to figure out the final stack, I think I was thinking too hard. My brain was like,
a blood vessel popped and now it's leaking out your nose. All right. This is why Stacked is only for the most hardcore listeners out there. We'll make your nose bleed and your ears bleed because we are so intense. And our last film is Akira Kurosawa's
Dreams.
magnum opus, second magnum opus, right behind Yojimbo in my opinion. But it is Dreams, an exploration of a human being in the most subconscious way possible by exploring the dreams of one of the greatest filmmakers to have ever lived. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you scared, but it'll also make you just appreciate life, love, and art itself. And that's Akira Kurosawa's Dreams.
Woo!
Well, there we have it.
That's epic.
That's the movie. That's the episode.
Epic.
That's the stack. That's the episode. That's the movies. What do you guys think? Was that a good episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm partial to the decade episodes.
You know, Stacked is a one-word podcast. Interestingly enough.
Did I tell you that I was filling out a job application and it was like, "Oh, what are your favorite podcasts?" And I said, "Stacked."
What?
And I was like, "Can I say my own?" Stacked. I just wanted to show my.
You legitimately put it on your application?
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna get the job?
You know, you apply to places, you hope for things. We'll see what happens.
hope for
I'm
the
not
best.
making determinations.
All right. Well, everyone, pray for Brandon in the comments that he gets a job. We're really praying for him because, you know, he is. I can't overstate this enough. He is unemployed. He does not have a job.
Oh, give me work, please.
He needs money. He is.
I don't
very
want them to make
unemployed.
fun of me anymore. I only want a job because I don't want them to make fun of me anymore. Not even that I want a job. No, just kidding. I want a job as well.
And yeah,
But
all
I
right.
also-
That's the episode, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in,
Make sure to
everybody.
listen to our past episodes. Where did everybody go?
It's okay.
We have no, it's not okay. We had 600 views, and then we went from 50, and now we have. Where everybody go?
People don't like vegans.
You
Steven,
ungrateful
you
piece
fucked
of
us.
shit.
Steven, you piece of
Hey,
shit.
guys. I'm sorry. We love you.
No, we love you, Steven.
Thank
All right, listeners, we'll catch you on the next episode. Stacked. Bye.
Bye.
On the flip.
What?
On the flip. Like, catch you
On
on the
the
flip.
flip.
On the flip. I thought you said I'm gonna flip.